man, this is equal opportunity. That means like you don't need to go to Stanford, Harvard, Yale, Shusha. You don't need to do an engineering degree. You don't need to be able to speak. You don't need to be able to listen. You can still make money, man. Come on, like, come on. This is never such a good time in history that you can make money working from home, sitting in shorts. And like you said, times have changed drastically in 20 years.
Hello, fellow changemakers. Welcome to the second episode of Forever in Motion. I'm your host, Sumit Suneja, founder of Headway. And today is a special episode for one reason it's the second episode, and second, because my dear friend is joining us today. And but before I talk about him, let's think about the women who has to work around a dead end corporate job, come back home, manage their kids, manage the house, and then again go back next morning. Before they go back to office, they just manage the whole house first, and then they go back to office and manage their seniors, their colleagues, and the office politics of it. You don't know how overbearing that can be on a woman. This is case with thousands and thousands of women. One such case is of Malti. Malti was stuck in a dead end corporate job, but during the last pandemic wave, she found a new a new avenue for her to explore, and that changed her life. She learned a few skills, and with the help of those skills she started making enough money to be more independent, do what she wants to do in today's gig economy, and make some value for her family and for herself. And Malti is not the only one. There are more than 1,500 people who found employment through this particular platform called digitalmarket.com. The founder of Digital Market is a dear friend of mine, is joining us today. Welcome, Gaurav,
Thank
and
you so
I'm so
much.
glad to see you here.
Thank you so much for having me here. And I planned this moment out. And if you allow me, I'm just going to say cheers. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm going to do my best to really share whatever info I can over the next couple of minutes, if not hours, with you. It's always fun chatting with you.
Dude, we'll take out the best that you have to give for our users. Don't worry. That's my
Okay,
job. I'll
let's do
take out
that.
the best from you.
Let's do that.
Okay. Okay. So let's start. Gaurav, just can you talk about your early life, how that was, and we'll talk about what you are doing today, but I want to understand how your early life went, uh, and we want to just get a context of the journey that led to this position.
Sure. So early life, I don't know whether 14 years old classifies as early life, but I would still say one of my first memories of life, one vivid memory I have in my life was when I was 14 years old and I was
Hmm.
living in Pune with my family. And my dad opened the door and he called me down and he was like, there's a letter for you. I was like, a
Hmm.
letter? Like, wow, who sent me a letter? And right on top of the letter, it said United States and it had a stamp from the US. I was like, wow, this is cool. And I opened it up, took it out, and it was actually a check. It was a check
Okay.
of not a huge deal of money back then, even right now. It was a check of $4, $4 US.
Okay.
And I was like,
Okay.
wow, $4. This is like totally, totally amazing. Like, how does this happen? As my dad was there and he looked at it and he's like, yeah, like, what have you been doing? Like, how are you making money on the internet? And that I think that was like my early years, something that I remember. And ever since then, I think anyone actually would really be addicted to sitting on the internet, figuring out how to make money if you figure out that you can make money. So that was like really, really early on. And now I feel
Uh,
old. I am 22 years older. So I'm happy that I still
hmm.
have my memory. And yeah, ever since then, it's kind of been pretty much the same. But that's my early memory story, Sumit.
When we were young, कुछ भी US से आता था was such an exciting thing. And on top of that, you got a dollar check,
Yeah,
right?
yep. I
So
actually still
that
haven't
used to
kept
be,
that check. I still have that check
huh?
with me. I still
You
have
still
that
have
check
that check?
with me. Yeah, it
Yeah.
serves
Do
as
send me
a
the picture of that check.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
serves as a reminder that
Yeah.
internet is a scene. That's where I've kind of always been
Yeah.
believing.
So let's go back 22 years. That was back in 1996, if I'm understanding this right.
Yes, yes.
And 1996 was the beginning ages of internet. So I am 40, and first heard of internet. Then one of my friend told me that I got a computer, and my cousin has a computer in US. There's a thing called Hotmail, and I can write a letter, and that letter will go instantly to my brother. He will type back and his answer, and we can talk free, and it's free for hours like this. And I couldn't sleep that night.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I just couldn't sleep that night. And tell me, any of our users, do you have similar stories? Is it me or Gaurav? Right? Like first time internet amazed us,
Yes.
didn't it?
It's honestly, it still really amazes me. Like each and every day I log on, I'm like, wow, because there's never like an answer that doesn't, there's never a question that doesn't have an answer. It just gets
Yeah.
more and more fascinating. And I can still remember the 256 modem, that white modem would come and make that noise. What a feeling, yeah. What a
Yeah.
feeling. Amazing. And look at us today.
Amazing. I am 4 years senior to you here. So I started with 56 kbps, and there was VSNL connection, you know, and those old school times. Um, if you think about it, the internet is the only thing that this is not made by nature. It's human ingenuity coming together, and it's the biggest thing that matters. There is weather patterns made by the nature, the way earth moves around the sun, the solar system, everything is huge, and they are of course commendable. But this one thing, internet, made by humans, the collective effort of humans, not one human, not one company, collectively all of us make it. You sitting in India or somebody sitting in Nigeria is contributing to it. It's amazing.
Yeah. Every morning, like these days, at least for the last 1 year, we
Mm,
start with early morning. We do these early morning classes. I'll tell you about that later. But since we are
mm,
around this context, is
mm,
the first thing that we do as a community, and we have about 100, members who show up each morning, is we have a
mm,
gratefulness activity where you just have to say like
mm,
one thing that you're grateful for. And it really could be anything. It could be an iPad, it could be a mic, it could be nature, but one thing that
mm.
without fail, every day someone says is like internet. And I'm like, yeah, man, like I am so grateful for the internet because I don't know what would have happened like if there wasn't the internet.
Yeah, I think this world, if internet would have come 5 years later, we would have been 5 years slower for sure.
Yes, yes.
Nothing else would have happened. So, okay. So moving forward, I understand you got interested in internet and the computer and the technology part of things very early, right? Because of that one particular check, of course, it will change anybody's life. You were the lucky one who got the $4, and I'm glad you got it, because if you wouldn't have been having this conversation today.
I believe so. I
Moving
believe
forward,
that's true.
moving forward, buddy. Uh, think about a little bit forward. How did your career start, and what did you start first as a business model, and how everything started?
So how everything started is after I received my $4 check and I was 14 years old. I remember these words to my dad saying that I don't want to go to school. I just want to make money on the internet. And he was like, dude, just please, like you know nothing about life. And of course, I took his advice and I wasted his money sending me to college and stuff. I did my hotel management, and after receiving my internet money, my next official job was actually to open doors at the five-star hotel. So I did my hotel management, and they decided that my information, all the knowledge I had, I'd be best suited to opening doors at the Hyatt Regency in Mumbai. So for a good couple of
Amazing,
months,
man.
I did that.
You did that
My
for a couple of months. Yeah.
Yeah, I did that for a couple of months. My right hand became stronger than my left hand because I had to it's a huge door, like a massive, massive mega door. So I used to just open
Yeah.
it. Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir. Hope you have like
Wow.
an amazing day today. And like, see, if you're happy, then no job is going to make you unhappy, right? But I was just like, whoa,
Yeah.
man, this is not what I want to do. This is totally like not
Mm.
what I want to do. And while I was standing opening doors to people who were enjoying life, I happened to ask myself this question, is saying that, okay, you're starting out. Everyone says that you need to start at the bottom. I accept that. I respect that. I understand why that makes sense. But just fast
Mm.
forward like 5 years or 10 years, let's fast forward 15 years. 15 years, assuming like
Mm.
I'm the hardest working employee, I show up on time, I do my job well, whatever needs to be done, I do that.
Mm.
The best case scenario, like really the
Mm.
best case scenario would be that I'd end up a general manager in between 15 to 20 years. And
Yeah,
then,
I
yeah,
agree.
then I looked at the general manager and I was like, but this is really not the life that I would want 20 years from now. Like, if anything, I'd want that life in 5 years from now, really, where you can do
Yeah,
whatever you like. And the salary was pretty crappy. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I agree. Gaurav. So being a general manager is also not wrong. This is what where I come from is, if somebody wants to be a general manager and be satisfied with it, that's great. That's the way it should be, right? But some of us who are change makers, who just want to own the goddamn hotel, what do we do, right?
Yeah,
This won't stick up for us,
yeah.
right?
It
It's
was
not the
like
life we would settle.
it was just not happening. Like it just wasn't sticking. It's kind of like orientation. Like either you get a job or you start a business, and you can't force
Hmm.
someone who has a job to start a business, and you can't force someone who wants to start a business to get a job. Meaning that's like a
Yeah,
disaster.
yeah, I think we all are made for those two things. There are people who are made for it. Whatever people may call it, yes, there are skills that can be adapted, and skills that can be learned over the years. But
Yeah.
मुझे बहुत ऐसा लगता है that first of all, some people vilify careers, that people want to just pursue a career and job, and and reach a specific point in their life. Some people just push that down. I think that is also very wrong, because there are people who will make way more money sticking to what they know best, and they'll not be an entrepreneur, they rather be an entrepreneur.
Yes.
They grow within the company. They end up being a stakeholder of the company, and that's also great. I know quite a few guys like that. you know there is not one way to the top. There are more ways, and I totally respect that.
Yeah.
It's just that people like us, we are too impatient. So, and you and me, I get you, man. And a lot of our listeners here would get us. And that it's about impatience, but still, there are two and three and four and 10 ways to get to the top. I think that is what people have to understand.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Meaning, do what you want. Like, do what you want as long as you're happy. Don't say that
Yeah.
I have this useless job and I have to work so hard, and my timing is so low, my salary is so low. I wish I could be an entrepreneur, or vice versa. Entrepreneurs will for
Yeah.
sure have their ups and down days. Like every day is an up and down day in business. And
Yeah.
sometimes you're like, dude, if I just stuck with my job, at least I would have had this. At least I would have that. Today I don't have that. Today I don't
Yeah.
have this. Grass is always greener.
Yeah. I think being an entrepreneur is working in an emergency room,
Yes.
right? It's an ER 24/7, and you are the senior most doctor. You will see emergencies. There'll be small little periods you will not see, but if you are going to be an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur today, would totally understand what I'm talking about. You are, and believe me, you will be working in an ER for rest of your life, even if you make $100 million company. If you are the CEO of that company, you are the head of the ER. You are the fire extinguisher. You are the main doctor.
Yeah. And don't get tired.
Yeah. Okay, so moving forward, Gaurav, how did you get into the marketing stuff of it, and what did you learn through that period?
So these stories kind of like connect with each other, I guess. And I
Hmm.
called my dad and I was like, I'm quitting my job. And he was like, dude, what is wrong with you? We've just invested in, and you can understand that, man. Like, your father
Hmm.
invests in your education, which
Yeah.
was, and in his mind, it was the best possible education to invest in. And then
Yeah.
two months later, this guy is like, I don't even want to be the general manager. I'm going to start my own business. He was like, you can understand that, right? It's just like, dude, what are
I
you
don't know what went through his head right at that point, but
saying?
I'm imagining he would be straight going to your mom. This is because of you.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Yeah,
he was like, see, at the end, dude, it's your call. I am not
yeah.
going to support you. You are
Hmm.
figuring out yourself. No one's going to
Hmm.
stop you, right? Like, don't come
Hmm.
back saying that I need money, I need this. He didn't explicitly say
Hmm.
it, but that was kind of like, you're making this
Yeah,
decision. You own this decision. You own it.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
said,
You're on your own.
you're on your own. So I said, okay. Anyway, with the salary that I was making as a waiter in Bombay was not enough to pay for my rent. So anyway, I was in debt. So I said, if I don't work, I'll be in less debt because I don't have to pay for the train ride and I don't have to pay for the auto ride and I don't have to pay for all this. So at least I'll get to chill, you know.
Uh,
But
okay,
I wasn't the chilling types, I wasn't the chilling types.
okay.
I've always had the desire to make money. I've always had that
Hmm.
itch, especially after making a little bit of money. I was like, dude, I want to make more money. So I
Hmm.
sat at home one day with my friends, three, four boys came over. We drank,
Hmm.
complained, this is life, that's life. Everyone still had that job. And
Hmm.
I was like, no, I'm going to like just do my own business. So I sat the next day, went online, and I
Yeah.
applied to like at least 20, 30 different companies. I
Hmm.
just made a CV in one day. I sat at an internet cafe. I told them, you charge me for 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, it doesn't matter. I remember sitting in one place, made my CV, wrote a nice message to every single person, did some research on them, sent
Hmm.
email to them, sent my resume to them. And I went back home, wasn't sure what I was going to do. Next day, I got an email saying that, hey, your profile seems interesting. You don't really have the qualifications, but come for your first round. We are only hiring engineers. I said, okay, let's go. And I went to this company, and
And what company was that?
this
What company
company,
was that?
this company is like, I think this was like the changing moment of my life. It's called Direct Eye, and it's
Okay.
a $1 billion enterprise today. When I joined, there were literally 20 people in that company. So
Okay.
$20 to $1 billion. It's run by Bhavin Turakia and his brother Divyang Turakia. Brilliant, like they are like
Okay.
next level brilliant. And I went to that
Okay.
company and I walked in. People are wearing shorts, people are wearing t-shirts. Guys have like hair like this, unshaven, glares. Someone's outside smoking a cigarette. Someone's coming at like 11 o'clock, high fiving Bhavin, saying, "What's up, dude?" Bhavin saying, "What's up, dude?" I'm just like, bro, like I would have like set short hair, being a chikna, wearing tie like that, wearing white shirt, wearing jacket. Good morning, sir. And you're like, dude, this is like a different world, yeah. Like what is happening is like you're going abroad for the first time. So
Interesting. Okay. So what year was that?
this I would say was 2002. 2002,
2002.
2003, 2002, 2003,
Wow.
2002, 2003. I maybe 2000.
Wow. Okay.
So
And,
anyway, I
and
feel, yeah.
and let's go back to the point that you said. So when you got the first money, when you were talking about the money you got from the hotel, from Hyatt.
The first money I got was from my in 1996 was my check of
No, no. After that,
$4.
you when you said you got very excited with money. Money
Yeah,
got you ticked up.
yeah,
That right. Even if that was not enough, it ticked you up, right?
absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And this is a very important point I want to talk about. People vilify money so badly, but look at what it did to you. Money does great things. It's the bearer of value, isn't it?
100%, 100%. And yeah, this like leads to money mindset and stuff like that. Previously, maybe like a
Yeah.
few years ago, I would not have even wanted to admit this story, saying that like, yeah,
Mm.
I was motivated by money. But today, I just feel like the amount that we've done for myself, for my family, for my team, for people who I don't know, and what they've been able to do with that money. It's like that's a different conversation altogether. But yeah, it definitely was a major driver for me.
Yeah, I think the way people vilify the money and money is not everything. To me, I think money is not everything. I agree, but everything that matters comes with money,
Yeah,
right? And if you don't have money, money will keep you happy. If you have money, it'll keep you happy. If you don't have money, you will be unhappy, scared, and insecure.
For sure.
Period.
For sure. For sure.
Anybody who's listening to us, th- Gaurav was not even making money to pay his rent enough, but that little bit money that he was getting got him going to such a huge heights. Let's bear with it. Money means money. Understand money. Money is not to be vilified. If you vilify it, you will be repenting. It'll run away from you.
And run away.
Don't vilify it.
100%.
Yeah, respect it. It is the bearer of value. It's the exchange of value. If you have value, you will get money. If you don't have value, you will not get money.
Simple as
Right?
that. Simple as that.
Simple as that.
Simple as that.
Perfect, Gaurav. That's brilliant point. And coming to Digital Eye. So you went to
Direct
Digital
eye.
Eye,
Direct eye. Direct eye.
Direct Eye. Sorry, Direct Eye. And interesting. In 2002, a company had a culture like that.
Yeah.
Now, to me, I can go back in 2002. I used to work in my father's shop in Palika Bazaar in Connaught Place. Right? I can imagine what life you would have seen in 2002 wearing those guys shorts and slippers to office. Even my own shop, I couldn't go in jeans. I had to wear trousers and shirt. Right? Though it was my father's shop.
Absolutely.
And amazing. Okay, interesting. So you very interesting. Let's go. So moving forward, um, Direct Eye. Were you hired at Direct Eye finally?
Yeah. So I saw the culture over there, and
Hmm.
I just wanted, like, I just knew I would fit right in. I just knew I'd fit right in, and at that point, I realized that I was actually not fitting in anywhere else. Like, even at the hotel, even at any other place that I tried, like, dude, this is not what I want to do. But I'd
Hmm.
never done anything before, right? So that is where, like, you kind of start doubting yourself. Like, am I the person who doesn't want to do anything, or have I just not found what I was good at, right? So that was
Hmm.
Direct Eye, and I hustled for that interview. It was the last interview I did in my life. I'm very happy for that. But I
Hmm.
was like, what do I need to do? And they were like pretty impressed with my communication skills, and they're like, you look like you can sell and stuff like that. But
Hmm.
we only hire engineers. I'm like, um, I did my hotel management. I was opening doors till yesterday. That's my
Yeah.
qualification, bro. They're like, yeah, but you
Yeah.
need to learn how to code. You need to learn how to program because the job requires that. So I said,
Hmm.
like, you give me an opportunity,
Hmm.
I'll learn. There are no two ways about it. I love learning stuff. I'll sit, even if I have to sit extra and all that stuff, I'll learn. You just give me a chance. And they're
Hmm.
like, okay, good attitude. Very young company, and all that stuff. They're like, okay, cool. You come, you start from tomorrow.
Perfect. Okay, bingo, you got the job.
Got the job.
And just to move things forward, you learned on the job and you learned programming and stuff.
So I didn't learn programming as such, but I learned how to work with programmers because you're
Okay.
like in the environment, right? You're just in the environment the entire time. And
Hmm.
I'd listen to conversations, and I just feel basically like you don't need to be smart in life. Like, yeah, in the sense, like, I didn't know how to program. I still won't call myself a programmer, coder, but I knew I
Hmm.
was there. Fortunately, I knew what my consequences were or what my other life was going to be. So I'm like,
Hmm.
dude, you understand this. So I would sit, I'd talk to people, I'd listen to people, I'd read on the internet, what are they meaning? And as long as I realized that I could communicate between my customers and other coders, I was sorted. Like, people would come to me to help explain to the coder, even though that they were coders. So I realized that there is going to be value add, right? If there's a room of 100 engineers, dude, you're going to need
Hmm.
someone with another skill set to maybe manage them or to
To
communicate
manage
with
the
them.
bridge between them.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Uh,
So I'm understanding that Direct Eye was a technology outsourcing company.
they started a
Right.
lot of technology companies. They still they still run like a lot of technology businesses on the internet. They're the first ones to get domain
Hmm.
names into India, right? So they've got bigrock.in, and When I started to learn
Oh,
about domain names from them,
oh,
I started to learn
okay.
about like what other people are
So
registering.
Big Rock was direct. Okay,
Yes, yes,
okay.
yes.
Yeah, yeah. So for benefit of people who are listening, Big Rock was before GoDaddy, before everybody else. In India, we had the Indian domain holders. They were the arbitrage between the World Wide Web and Indian customers. So a lot of domains in India are still listed with them. Um, okay, moving forward, just to come fast forward today. In the middle, you started your own agency. I understand.
Yeah, so this was like after Direct Eye. It was
Uh-huh.
really the best time of my life. And
Okay.
I feel that I maybe left prematurely. Like the
Mm,
grass is always greener because there was such growth. And when I left, there were maybe 60, 70, 80 people. Today, there are like 4,000 people. So I do miss seeing that kind of growth. I do miss
mm.
seeing like a small office in Mumbai going to $1 billion. That's still really, really rare, unheard of.
What was the company? What was the agency you formed?
So the agency that I found,
Yeah,
so I started this company called Pragmitis. This was
Pragmatic.
yeah, Pragmitis. Yeah, immediately after I quit this job, I called
Yeah.
my dad up and I was like, "Hey, Dad, I'm going to quit my
Uh,
job." And he was like, "Oh my God, why?
mm.
Like, why? Why?" He was
Finally,
like,
you started making some money.
he's like, dude, like honestly, I was not making this kind of money when I was this age, even like right now, because technology companies, they do pay way more than a hotel, right?
Yeah,
So
of
I
course.
was making cash. They took my passport. They were getting me a visa for the US. From like being really, really, really no one with any qualifications. I was leading a team over there, and I was like, man, life is really good. Getting paid on time every time, first of the month, your salary's been credited. I was single, living
Yeah,
in Mumbai, good life, making
yeah.
money. And then this entrepreneur bug, man, like it really started bugging me so much that I was like, damn, I have to quit this company. I have to quit this
Yeah.
company and I need to start
Wow.
something. And that's when I started this agency.
Okay,
So,
so when did you quit that company?
I'm just going to try and get my dates right. I think I started
Give
Pragmitis.
up a year.
What's that?
Just the year would be good.
2007. 2007.
2007. So 2002 you joined them.
Yeah.
2007 you left them.
Yeah.
And just for context of listeners, what were you making in 2007 and what were you making in 2002?
So in 2002,
Hmm.
when I did my hotel management, right? Like I was doing my hotel
Yeah.
management back then. So my
Yeah.
salary was 5,000 rupees minus 200 rupees professional tax minus every time you went late, you get 50% of your salary done.
Hmm.
And my journey to the office was like I was staying at Colaba with my grandmom. So I had to take a bus, I
Okay.
had to take a train, I had to take an auto to get to work, and my work started at 7 a.m. And at
Hmm.
the end of the month, if I was like really good, I would get 3,800 rupees in my
Hmm.
hotel management job.
Hmm.
In 2007, when I quit Direct Eye, I was making about 10 times that. I was making about 50, 60,000 bucks a month. And
Hmm.
before I left, they were like, if you're leaving about money, let's just be very, very clear with you. It's not an
Hmm.
issue. If we need to increase it to 70,000, 80,000, 90,000 rupees, we can do that and we will do that if that is the issue. And I'm like, dude, I want to start my own company. And the owner was like, there's no hope for this guy. He's going to start his own business. But in really good spirit, still in touch with these guys, still in touch with
Yeah.
like all my colleagues. And I have for
Yeah.
huge, huge, major respect because if I got like stuck in the hotel management trajectory, like, wow, I'm even scared to think
Yeah.
about
Things
it.
would have been very different. Yeah. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So for the context, 2007, you were making 50,000.
Yeah.
And then for a guy who's not even married, who's a hotel management professional, you would have been so happy. And anybody would have been in 2007, I imagine, because it's still young in the career. They know there's a long way to go. So moving forward, you started the company for marketing, right? What was that company called?
So,
And how the marketing thing came into play? So let's come to what today, Gaurav. and how everything, what today's Gaurav is about, and how that formed the second part of your life.
Sure. So, like the second time I called to tell my dad that I'm quitting my awesome job, I told him I'm
Huh.
starting a business. And
Hmm.
he was like, if you're like serious, he's like, if you are
Yeah.
like serious, then even I'm going to quit my job and we'll
Acha.
start this business together. I said,
Oh wow, tables were turned, huh?
tables were turned and how.
Did you
And
expect that coming from your dad?
no, I had never expected it. It just kind of like happened. You never know who your co-founders are going to be. You're just
Hmm.
sitting, you're having a conversation, and I believe if there's an idea, and
Yeah.
if the other person also understands the idea, and both of
Yeah.
you understand the potential of it, that's when entrepreneurship really happens.
No,
So
very interesting. Your father, somebody who was just 5 years ago,
yeah,
was happy you opening the doors at Hyatt,
yes,
today believes in you so much that you started your own company. He says, I'm leaving my job, joining you.
yeah, yes. He said we started together. We started together, so we officially started it together. But
Wow.
so that was awesome. That was really awesome. And I totally, I needed that mentorship. I
Of course.
desperately needed those connections. Uh, back when I was like 22, 23 years old, you're walking into a CEO's office and you're like, dude, I'll get you on Google and dude, I'll be like, chal hat. So it
Yeah.
was like a very good combo because my dad had like good connections, but he didn't know anything about digital marketing back then. Today he knows everything.
But
So he,
there was something I just want to, before you get to the next part,
sure.
there is a huge value here for listeners. Understand, the same guy, he's got his dad, who was so unhappy for him leaving his job 5 years ago, today trust him so much. What happened? Even our parents, and you have everybody has to believe this. Even your parents believe you when you make it. You are only Raja Beta till the time you are at home. Your parents believe you only once you made it once and shown it. That's the point. Nobody, your mom, your dad, they trust me. If you not made it, you don't. It's not your parents' fault if they don't trust you. It's not you're not proved enough, and you would understand once you have kids. You have to respect that. You have to respect the way nature works. Even your parents, even anybody's parents, will follow you only once you have made it. So, and it goes the other way around. If your parents have not made it, you will never follow them. You will not do exactly what they have done or follow their footsteps. You don't want to. You will not follow them in the business because that business never made any money. Why do you expect your parents to just believe you every time and have that grudge over them? Isn't it?
Absolutely. And like we are both parents here, so we understand that we have to play different roles, right? We have to play different
Yeah,
roles, and if you don't make your kids stand up on their own 2 feet, then you've not done a good job parenting, right?
of
So,
course.
yeah, it was good, and that's how the name actually came up. The company's name was called Pragmitis, and
Okay.
my dad's name is Prakash, so it was PRA for his name. Then
Hmm.
G for Gaurav, that's my name, and then we put in
Yeah.
my brothers and sisters' name as well. And the actual meaning of the word Pragmitis was derived from pragmatic. We said let's not do all
Yeah.
this hype bullshit. Let's just tell people exactly what they need to do. Let's do that for them and be pragmatic in nature. So that's how we kind
Yeah.
of came up with the name.
Okay. This was the first digital marketing agency
This was the first
back in
digital marketing agency, 2007. Yeah.
back in 2007. What
Yes.
what was, just for the context for everybody here? What kind of digital platforms and what kind of marketing existed around then? What were people marketing in at that around that time?
So, like, one thing that I remember vividly was Orkut. And people are not
Yeah.
marketing on Orkut as such, but I was finding all my employees on Orkut. Like,
Acha.
so I'd find like
Okay.
everyone was going to like Naukri and this and that. I would just put up posts on Orkut, and it was like there was no privacy then. You could just search anyone's profile. You could DM them. You could tag them, whatever it was back in the day.
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
put up statuses saying that, hey, just started this digital marketing company. I didn't call it digital marketing company then. I was like, hey, we've got a web design company. looking for an HTML programmer.
Wow.
So
And why was that? Why you not hiring for marketing? Because there
we
was nobody trained for that?
we didn't know actually at that time. I just knew that I wanted to start a business. So when I met my first client, he said, I asked him like, "What do you want?" He said, "I want a website. Can you build a website?" I was like, "Yeah, we are a website design company." So we would call ourselves a website design company
There
at that
you go.
point.
Okay.
But then we,
Yeah. Another great point you just said. Just go with the flow, right? It's important. Up. Don't get when you're starting something. Don't get stuck up with something. Listen to the market. Listen what they are saying. In the beginning, you're the softest clay possible. With limited employees, limited overheads, you can turn into anything, no matter what you started as, isn't it?
absolutely. So yeah, we did that first job, and
Yeah.
the first employee that we hired,
Yeah.
he messaged me on Orkut saying that, "Hey, I'm interested in this position, but I have
Mm,
some problems." So I was like, "Dude,
mm,
all of us have problems to Aja. Like tomorrow I have to deliver this website. I don't know how to deliver this website. No matter what, you just come." So
mm.
he came, and this guy he was deaf and dumb. So he couldn't speak
Okay.
and he couldn't hear. So he came
Interesting.
in and I was like, "Hi, sit down," and stuff like that. And dude, what do you talk to? First of all, like you need to be trained to be able to communicate. I was
Yeah.
21, 22 years old, and this is like my first interview. I'm just looking at this guy, like, and you could tell that he's not going to be able to communicate because he can't hear and he can't speak. So, what do you
Yeah.
expect? So I said, "Okay, just come with me," and I took him to my computer, and I
Mm,
took my dad's computer,
mm,
and I was like, "Can you chat?" And he was
mm,
like, "Dude, I can like chat all day long. Chat meaning like chat." So I
mm,
sat down, he's sitting next to me. I'm like, "Okay, where do you stay?" And he's like typing down. And like, "What do you do?" He's like, "I studied my HTML from Aptech University." I was like, "Can you build this website? Here's a template." And he's like, "I think I can do it." I said, "Okay,
mm,
I'll pay you for this job." And he's like, "Let's do
mm.
it."
So yeah,
So,
and he
so
agreed
yeah,
to make the website.
he agreed to make the website. And I, of course, was on a deadline. So he ended up
Mm,
coming to my house and staying in my house like 2, 3, 4 in the morning, finishing the
mm,
website. I went for my
mm,
meeting at like 10, 11 in the morning. Customer
mm,
was happy, called, message Akshay saying that, "Great job. I want
mm.
you to work with me full time." And he said, "Okay, let's do it." And then 2 years we spent together. And after that, we kind of started growing a lot. But it was really, really an awesome experience. And I think that in a way has subconsciously led me to where I am today.
Wow, interesting, man. And your first employee uh, was not able to understand or was able to understand, but you weren't able to understand him, right? But your dad helped you find the way to understand this person.
Through chat, we were just doing chat, computer chat. Yeah,
Okay, okay,
just
perfect.
chatting with each other.
Okay, so Pragmatus, I understand, got sold off.
Yes.
Okay, what year did you sell Pragmatus?
So I ran it for about 12 years. So I ran
Yeah.
it for 12 years. I think it was in 2015, 16, sorry, no, 2014 that I sold it off.
Okay, interesting. And you sold it off. You got a good exit. Everything was hunky dory.
So I got, so actually, like, my dad and me, we were working together till this time. So we spent a lot of
Hmm.
time with each other. And as you can imagine, we started getting fried with each other because,
Hmm.
business, family, all that shusha happens.
So let's move forward to the next point. Uh, so you sold Pragmatus in what year then?
So I would say this is 2014, 2014, 2013, 2014. So my dad and me, we were
Okay.
working together for quite some time. It was really good. And
Hmm.
we saw a lot of growth. We saw a lot of growth. And then over time, I wanted to take the business to the next level. And my dad was like, "I'm kind of done. I'm kind of done. I've done what I was supposed to do, and now it's on your own.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's when he exited the business. So we were 50-50 partners when we started, and then
Mhm.
he exited. So he exited to this company in the US who wanted to acquire my business. So we
Mhm.
sold his equity out over there, and
Mhm.
then we took things forward, which have left to other developments post that.
Okay. And you also got your exit
I also got my exit.
at
Yes,
some point.
yes.
Okay. And let's come into the main business that you do today. Let's talk about what you do today, and can you explain everybody what's it about and how it all got started?
Sure. So I still pretty much do what I have been doing for the last 10, 15 years right now, which is essentially
Mhm.
helping businesses get on the internet. So we help businesses
Mhm.
get on the internet by getting them set up on the internet with their websites, their Google presence, their Facebook presence, their ads, their emails, their social media, all that stuff. This was
Okay.
essentially what we learned in our digital marketing
Mhm.
agency, right? If you were a
Okay.
client, you would come to us and we would help you with all these services.
Okay.
So that was how we started, but that was like really, really local. We were growing super fast. We were growing super quick. Uh, in my city of Pune, if you had asked someone who should I go to for digital marketing, there's a really good chance that they would say go to Pragmitis because we did the job well, we charged fairly, had good customer
Yeah.
relationships and all that stuff. At the same
Okay.
time, like I asked my same question. I asked myself the same question that I asked myself: is in 10 years from now, what if you have right now you got 50 customers? What if you had 500 customers? Would you be content? And my answer was like, no, I want to grow more. I want to grow more. And that's why my dad was like, no, I don't want to grow more. 50, 60
Yeah.
customers paying you monthly, recurring, sorted
Mhm.
business. You're young. You can do whatever you like. And
Mhm.
and then we kind of started doing the same thing, but with all our
Mhm.
employees. We had a lot of employees. We had a lot of costs. We had a lot of expenses and stuff. That's when we told like our employees that don't come to the office. We will pay
Mhm.
you, but you work from
Mhm.
home, right?
Okay.
So this was, I think, in 2002, 2012, we started a work from home network. We told all our
Mhm.
employees that just go home and work. Uh, we'll pay you your salary. Just do the same work that you were doing, but from home.
So, you decided to go work from home back in what year?
2012.
2012. And
2012.
that saved you cost? And that was the reason you did it?
That saved us like magnificent cost. That saved us
Okay.
magnificent cost. In fact, that was the reason we didn't shut down our business. Is because while our business was growing, we were getting customers each month. Cash
Mm.
flow scenes were like hopeless. Each customer would be like, I'll pay you next month, 45 days, 60 days, 90 days.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, how will I pay
Yeah.
my salaries? Like, I can't tell my employees that I'll pay you 90 days later and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
what was really eating us up was the rent. We had got like a huge office. We had like 40, 50 employees. Every time like we got a new project, we'd have to buy a new computer, a new desk, one more
Mm.
internet connection, one more inverter, more coffee. These things, they just keep adding up,
Yeah.
right?
Of course. Of course. And that, I think that pandemic taught us that office is a huge, huge waste of cost if
Yeah.
if and only if you get your systems right. You don't want to be coming to office. Those huge chunky buildings are a waste of space now.
For sure, for sure. So
Yeah,
we
but you
started
got that
this.
in 2012. Interesting. Yeah.
We got like really lucky. We got like really lucky that we had an amazing team, and we
Hmm.
had a team. I trusted the team, and the team trusted me. And we are like, see,
Hmm.
we're going to make this work. And whatever you have been doing in the office, you have a comp
Hmm.
at home, you have internet at home, just go do it like from there. And the
Hmm.
employees were like, are you serious? Like, wow, this is amazing. Like, will you still pay me this much salary? And I was
Hmm.
like, dude, I will pay you more salary because my costs
Hmm.
are going down. I don't have to pay for all this stuff. And that,
Yeah.
I think that was like a major tipping point for us. And after that, we saw it working. We started being like really profitable then. We started being wildly profitable then, and ever since then, like I still always kept like an office for myself, maybe like two
Mm,
people or three people, just like to meet someone. But then
mm.
after co-working and stuff came in, then I was like, no reason at all, no reason whatsoever. And then pandemic happened, and we are born for this, like no difference in life. Anyway, we
Yeah.
just sit at home and work. So now just sit at home and work and get paid.
Okay. So the one most important thing that comes to my mind is that, and I meet so many people, including myself, we see that there is some systems or something is different, that some set of employees work very good from home, and some set of employees are not able to work from home. Was that the case with you?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's like the case with any employee, right? Some employees you'll have a good, some employees you'll have a lousy, right? So that's just going to magnify itself. And like
So
I
what
said,
do you do what do you do when you face a dilemma where your team was working fine from office, and that happens with me also. And we tell that, okay, let's we are 20 people, team of 20 25 people, out of which we will find that maybe 10 people will not work that well from home. They will have struggle. Maybe their houses are not too compact, or there's a lot of jing bang starting around them, which doesn't enable them to work and focus, right? And they prefer coming to office. What do you do then? You continue going for office, right?
so it really kind of varies, right? And for us, the situation was very different in 2012, where we didn't have
Mm.
to make decisions based on the pandemic, right? It was completely
Yeah.
based on
Mm.
whether it's good for the company or not, whether it's good for the employee or not. And we
Mm.
had a really young team. It was like a bunch of friends, and we all grew up together. Uh,
Mm.
some women were getting married, some women were having kids,
Yeah.
and where I was really at a loss is that, see, we've all said and done invested a lot in our employees, right? We've
Mm.
invested in training them, we've invested
Mm.
them in communication, we've invested in time, in training, in all that stuff. They know our clients, they know our systems, they know our servers, they know our email, they know our password, and there's no price for comfort, right? You're comfortable with them. Like, why should you rock the boat when you don't need to rock the boat, right?
Mm. Mm.
So we at that point just like retained the best team. And for people who were not performing, or people who uh, didn't have that kind of commitment that we were expecting, we were
Yeah.
completely fine with that as well. We would
Mm.
ask them, is like, what is it that you need to do? What is it that you want to do? And we
Mm.
will pay you only for that.
Acha.
We won't pay you a full salary. Like,
Mm.
you tell me, like, Gaurav, this is what I want to be doing in the company, and I'll say, okay, this is how much I'll pay for you. If you're fine with that, good
Mm.
deal. But you need to tell
Yeah.
me what it is you want to do. And
Mm.
like, for example, we had this guy. He was a real chiller guy, super smart, creative guy, but he was just
Mm.
not a guy to work from home. So I asked him, I was
Mm.
like, dude, I really like you. We have an awesome relationship. I hope it's mutual. And he's like, yeah, totally. It's all good. I like, what do you want to do? And he's like, I want to play the guitar. It's like,
Mm.
I mean, like, what do you want to do, like, work wise? And he's like, I want to play the guitar. I was like, okay. So
Okay. Yeah.
we made him a jingle writer. We made him a jingle writer. So he used to play the guitar for all my clients. We'd make songs
Interesting.
for them, and
Yeah.
he was probably one of my most successful employee, because the customers loved him. They would love his jingles, they would love his videos, and I started loving him because my clients loved him. And we just
Yeah.
introduced this new stream of this one guy playing songs on the guitar, and that's what he wanted to do. I said, okay, you're good at that, do that. And we started a jingle division in office.
Amazing, man. Amazing. You made something out of a very stupid situation. I would not say difficult situation, but it was quite stupid. If
Yeah,
you
it was
think of it, Yeah, like, what do you want? I just want to play guitar. What? Okay, let me see what I can do. Interesting. Very, very, very interesting, Gaurav. Uh, but, but, so, uh, So for not all businesses, you not find very creative people. You have to understand that maybe there will be businesses that have functions like finance, ops, and not other kind of functions. My business is not all departments in the business are very creative, and thus not very motivated people who can work from anywhere. A work environment at office, no matter what mundane the task would be, it needs an environment. Do you not see that, or do you not feel that?
So I definitely feel that. I definitely feel that there needs to be synergy. There needs to be a vibe. There needs to be a pulse. There needs to
Hmm.
be those emergencies. There need to be those times. Otherwise, you're not growing, right? You have to
Yeah,
have those, like you said, ER situations, not only to survive, but also to grow further, right?
yeah.
Uh, so I trust technology. Like honestly, I trust technology, and we started using technology to our advantage, where
Hmm.
we created our own group chats, we created our own video software, we created our own shout boxes. So we really tried to simulate the office energy online. Uh,
Okay.
as much as we could. You know, you can't replace face to face ever, but we made it the next best thing. And we
Hmm.
found other ways to incentivize people for them to do their job, because now
Hmm.
suddenly we had like a pile of cash that we never had before, right? We were saving lakhs and lakhs on overheads. So we just
Hmm.
used it like really pretty creatively, and
Hmm.
incentivize them. And like I said, it was a young team, so it was very flexible. We are a super super duper flexible team. We would meet up maybe in the evening, not at an office. So we'd meet at a bar. We
Hmm.
would take a holiday together. We'd go to Goa together. We'd go here together. So we built this culture. You know, we really built this culture which thrived online.
Yes, yes. The key is the culture. I think you're right. The key is the culture. If one can build a good culture within the team, a culture of trust, a culture of commitment, and it has to go both ways, not one way. Don't
Yeah,
expect only from your employees. This has to be both ways, and it has to be initiated by the founders. That
yeah,
cu- that only then an employee who doesn't have the stake as you have in the business will start to trust you. You have to build that culture, right?
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so coming to your all in expertise, you put together everything and you started digitalmarket.com, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about that. Why digitalmarket.com? I mean, I understand, and in your and my for benefit of everybody else, we had this conversation with Gaurav before. Uh, Gaurav acquired a brand called digitalmarket.com. If somebody who knows what domains are worth these days, they should know. I don't know what number we're talking about. Let's talk to Gaurav, understand what the modalities of acquiring such a domain is and why he did it. So, Gaurav, digitalmarket.com, tell me more about it.
So, you know, it's now really simple for me to condense these stories. And I think maybe I've got a little clarity myself after talking to you. I'm asking myself, how do these 1, 2 steps lead into digitalmarket.com?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like I said, my first employee, he had a
mm,
disability. And
yeah,
I felt proud back in the days, saying that I can still help someone with a disability. And
yeah,
for me, it's like equal opportunity, man. Like, even if you
mm,
can't talk, even if you
mm,
can't speak, boss, can you type?
yeah,
Simple question. Can you type?
ah, yeah,
And so that's when I was like, man, this is equal opportunity. That means like you don't need to go to Stanford, Harvard, Yale, Shusha. You don't need to do
yeah,
an engineering degree. You don't need to be able to speak. You don't need to be able to
yeah,
listen. You can still make money, man. Come on, like, come on. This is never such a good time in history that you can make money working from home, sitting in shorts. And like you said, times have changed drastically in 20 years.
yeah, absolutely.
So I've been as interested in the e-commerce space. So previously I thought I'll start like a pet brand because I like pets. I'll sell
Okay.
e-commerce stuff on pet stuff. Then I thought I'm having a baby. Maybe I should start selling baby products online. Though I don't think
Okay.
that idea went even more than 3 or 4 days because you get excited, but you're like, yeah, like that's not
Yeah,
really what I want to do. So I said, see, I
yeah.
want to
Something
be.
has to connect to your soul that you can see yourself doing for 20 years. Even
Yeah,
if you don't do it, that's different. But you can still do. By the time you're about to die next tomorrow morning, you're still happy doing that business. Is what you should do.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I said, let's innovate. Let's just basically take like a typical agency, and there are like
Hmm.
thousands of agencies worldwide. Let's
Hmm.
take a digital marketing agency in Pune,
Hmm.
and let's just say that we are online. We are like an online agency, and
Hmm.
that's when the idea came. Looking at Amazon, I'm like, what is Amazon?
Hmm.
Amazon is a marketplace. They're connecting a buyer and they're connecting a seller. What is an agency? An agency is also connecting a buyer with a
Hmm.
WordPress developer, or with a SEO person, or with a PPC
Yeah.
person. That was my
Agency
job.
still acts as a bridge. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So I said, let's innovate this agency model of meeting clients, calling them into our office. We didn't even have an office. Uh,
Hmm.
let's let's just go international, and not just for ourselves. Let's not
Yeah.
only us try to get customers, but let's take the whole world with us. Whoever
Okay.
says like, I can work, I can do WordPress, I can do SEO, I can do PPC. If they want to
Yeah.
do this, we will support them. We will never pay
Okay.
them a salary. We will never, ever, ever pay a salary. But we will
Yeah.
stick to what we learn best is the gig economy, where we
Yeah.
only pay if my freelancer does something.
Okay.
So pay per task.
Okay. Interesting. So how is it different from Fiverr?
So it's pretty much it's 100% the same as Fiverr. In fact, Fiverr's been one of my inspiration. When I was
Okay.
looking at my agency, and I was like, wow, these guys are selling everything that I'm selling online. So I said,
Yeah.
these guys are like great. So tons and tons of inspiration
Hmm.
from Fiverr, where we kind of innovated ourselves, where we kind of differentiate ourselves. At least we think we differentiate ourselves. Is that
Hmm.
the people who work on our platform, they have to be certified by us,
Okay.
right? They have to have the same culture that we had as an agency. The way they talk to customers has to be according to our standard operating procedures. The way they deliver the work has to be according to our standard operating procedures. So basically, it's kind of like uh, we're giving freelancers a standard operating procedure. They're doing whatever they need to. Whereas on a Fiverr, it can be anyone. Like you can sign up for an account on Fiverr today
Hmm.
and start selling on Fiverr today. But if I
Hmm.
come to you, I don't know who you are. How am I supposed to know whether you can do my job or not? So
Hmm.
that's why we've taken the onus of making sure that the people who you deal with, they are going
Hmm.
to be like awesome. They're going to be like replicas of employees, except they're just freelancers.
Okay. So you are standardizing and regulating what quality of professionals work at the platform, and you're standardizing them, and you're making sure that they are certified by you, so that a user gets an experience and a value for their money's worth at the most optimum level. Whereas in non-regulated platforms, it's mostly done by reviews. If you do well, it's okay. If you don't do well, it's still okay. They still get paid. It's just that they won't get good reviews.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's completely performance based,
Hmm.
100% performance. And, I didn't mention this, but we were the number one platform. We were the number one company on another platform called Upwork, called
Hmm.
Elance Upwork. So we are the number one Indian company in our space, digital marketing, which means we
Hmm.
had to get good reviews. Like one
Yeah.
negative review is like, oh my God, that would really be a very sad day in our company.
Hmm.
So I took that into my mission, saying that if you get a
Hmm.
customer, dude, you
Hmm.
jolly well make that customer happy. Like we're not going to have unhappy customers. So,
Yeah.
and that's freelancers' biggest trouble as well, right? They don't
Hmm.
have anyone to report to. They don't have any accountability, which automatically
Yeah.
means they're going to start slacking. And then the
Yeah.
only thing they care about is their payment.
Yeah. Yeah. Of
So,
course. Of course. And with you, so now what digital market is doing is you putting all the learnings you had from Pragmatus. and bringing it to a much larger and wider platform without getting a business into a fixed cost, but still bringing more and more value to the guys who do the job, and you guys make the money of the platform, right?
Absolutely. We only make money when freelancers make money, and freelancers make money only when customer is happy.
Perfect. Okay. Now, digitalmarket.com. Tell me, how did you buy digitalmarket.com and why did you buy it? First of all, let's answer the why. Why digitalmarket.com? I am sure this must be expensive. How much did you buy this for if you want to talk about it?
So I'll tell you, in 1999, uh,
Okay.
there's a report on New York Times. It's
Hmm.
still there in the archive. You can look it up on the
Hmm.
internet. And
Hmm.
digitalmarket.com was
Hmm.
sold for 109 million US dollars.
109 million US dollars. Okay.
Yes. And it was listed on the SEC. So you can totally validate this, because I just found this out and I'm like, no way, no way, no. There has to be something wrong. There has to be
Yeah.
something wrong. But I did my research, and of course, it was a company called digitalmarket.com that was sold for $109 million in 1999. And then
Okay.
the .com bust happened, and our dear friends decided that it's probably not worth renewing this domain name. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were thinking or smoking, but they didn't renew it. And then somebody else bought it, and it was with them for a long time. But with domain names, you really need to nurture them. Otherwise, they don't hold that much value. So
Yeah.
I started this company, and like I knew that I wanted to do digital marketing.
No, 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 no. Let's go back before we go. Why a company should need a good domain name? Let's talk about that first. There is, with all your experience of marketing over the past so many years, just tell me, uh, why a good domain matters.
There's so many different answers. One is like we wanted to be, like how you've got the stock market. You've got
Yeah,
the stock market, right? People say that, hey, we deal in the stock market. That's like a perfectly appreciated or respected career these days, saying that, oh, I'm part of the stock market. So I wanted
yeah.
people to say that, oh, I'm part of the digital market. I'm part of
Okay.
the gig economy.
Hmm.
So, and for me, everything is like digital. I found my wife digitally. I found my house digitally, my college
Hmm.
digitally. Everything is digital. And today
Hmm.
more so, like, so I said,
Yeah,
let's be classy, like let's be classy. Let's do some good branding. Instead of like buying a silly Ferrari or buying something to show off. If I'm going to
yeah,
show off, I'm going to show off on the internet. And a good brand name has a good domain name. A good domain name ranks well with Google. So we knew what we were going to do. We are sure, like next 20, 30 years, God willing, we are going to focus purely on building a digital market for people all across the world. And then we wanted people to take us seriously. We are serious in what we're doing. So we made some offers. We went to auctions. We went to negotiation. We got lawyers. And then
hmm,
with my business partner and me, we decided to really pull the trigger, buy
yeah.
this domain name. We still haven't disclosed the price yet, and we'll probably do that once we sell this company. So it looks cool. But yeah, right now we are like really, really happy with
Yeah,
where we are.
absolutely. But we are imagining that, for everybody's benefit here, this domain, and I can tell you that this domain name must not have come cheap. Um, I mean, must not have come cheap. Gaurav must have had to pay hundreds and hundreds and thousands of dollars
Yes,
to
it
get
was
a
in the
domain
six
like that.
figures. It was in the six figures.
Six figures, there it is.
Yes. Yeah.
So, so he paid six figures to start a business and get a good domain name. Why that good value? I mean, I know it for the and I want everybody to listen from the horse's mouth. Why a good domain name matters? Why? Let's answer that first.
So,
Only Google ranking wouldn't make too much of value. Why? What else?
so, to be honest, we didn't start off with this domain name. We
Hmm.
started with another domain name called digital marketing dot
Hmm.
market. We knew that we wanted to be a marketplace. I bought this
Yeah.
dot market domain for $7.
Okay.
And I would not recommend anyone who's starting a business to invest in a premium domain name until and unless you've proven your model. So for the
Okay.
first 1 year, I was
Yeah.
running around with domain name. It's still active, digitalmarketing.market. But then we saw like pretty much overnight, we did a few sales, we did a few webinars, we tried some marketing, we got some customers, and we're like, dude, this is a business. This is like a business that has been formed. And
Hmm.
then I was reaching out to some influencers as well, like A level guys, top guys,
Hmm.
A level. In every industry, you're going to find the top players, right?
Right.
So I reached out to a few. They didn't respond, and I was like, "It's a domain name, digitalmarketing.market." Gaurav at digitalmarketing.market. Who's going to like even like open like an email like that, man?
Yeah.
It's not going to
Yeah.
happen. And then like my business partner is also like super passionate about domain names. We understand SEO, meaning I would buy the domain name again just for SEO because we get
Hmm.
like a lot of traffic from Google, so it's a good investment. Though we
Hmm.
said let's go premium. It's a brand. Uh,
Hmm.
you can either choose to be a Chinese brand, which is low quality, or you can choose to be a premium brand. We are not investing in offices. We are not investing in buying all this stuff. Let's just buy
Hmm.
the best domain name. Let's reap the SEO benefits. And quite frankly, today, if I send an email to an influencer just with my domain name, gg at digitalmarket.com, or I meet
Hmm.
you and I tell you, like, yeah, you can check out my website, digitalmarket.com, you will remember it, right? You will remember it. And I'm
Yeah.
prepared to pay money for that. That's branding, right? That's why you invest in good quality products, right? You don't invest in useless stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
so, so I would say like first start with any domain name. The domain doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Prove your model, get your money rolling in. At
Hmm.
that point, invest in a good domain name because it's going to help you with SEO. You're
Hmm.
already growing. That is when you need to grow a brand. When you're a startup, you're not a brand. You just need to talk to 5 people. But when you're looking at talking at 1,000 people,
Yeah.
last month we got 250,000 page views on our website. And I would much rather people know me as digitalmarket.com as a premium domain that they can remember than pretty much anything else on the internet.
Yeah. I think you're right. Most important is get the business right, get the customers in, at least get few of them, understand the business. If there's modalities that you need to change about it, even maybe the whole business model is not worth it. So if you buy a domain name that may not work, then you wasted that money. Though a
Yes.
good domain name is important, you don't have to waste money on it. You have to spend money on it. There's a difference.
Invest in it.
Wasting money is wasting money is without testing the market, without knowing what you're doing. If you're doing this for 10 years, like Gaurav has been doing for 15, 20 years, he knows marketing. He can go and buy it in his sleep, and he knows he's going to make money from it, and it's going to make benefit just by the domain name. But you need to know your business. For example, if I make stainless steel bottles, stainlesssteelbottles.com would be a great domain name, or
Absolutely.
something else, right? But
Absolutely.
you got to know if you can sell it or not, right? Your product is good enough or not. Then we talk about the domain name. That's the point here. Another thing that I want to talk about is that you're talking about building the brand now. Only domain would work. What else do we need to build the brand forward?
So I think today, like,
Just for everybody that value, we bought rabbitat.com for about $45,000.
wow, wow, wow,
Yeah.
nice, nice,
Yeah. And we also, rabbitat.com was rabbitat was first called Humble, and I still have the domain name called Humble with a double L, humble.com. And
nice,
we started calling it Humble, and we somehow felt it's a good brand name, just not for kids, right? And but the business was nice, and we you're right, we were seeing some traction in the first product. We quickly changed the name to Rabbitat, and I still have humble.com with double
nice.
L. Of course, the spelling is not correct, but still, it's a very premium domain name. we might use it for something else in future. But yeah,
For sure.
I too understand the value of a domain name. How I understand this is the location of your store. If your store
Exactly.
is somewhere
Exactly.
inside, people will not be able to find you. But if you're right on the front main street and right on the corner one, everybody knows you. So Gaurav, we went ahead and we bought the domain, we got the business rolling. Now, with all your experience, I just want to take out some real value for everybody around us, everybody who's listening to this podcast. And that's something I'm going to come up with some questions regarding marketing and how people understand marketing. And I want you to just explain us what people can do to build their brands, what people can do to build their personal brand if they want to, what kind of marketing they should be looking at, what is the effort that they can do. Okay, let's start with, if I'm starting a new brand, right? Where do you think is the real traction amongst all the platforms for now, as we speak in 2021?
Cool. So I'm glad that you specified 2021. And just
Yeah.
to confirm that I understood the question, I know that you're talking about 2021, but the answer might surprise you. The answer is still your email list. Start collecting email addresses from people on the internet.
Wow. Okay. Nobody talks about that, right?
And it's
I thought there'll be a platform called Instagram, there'll be a platform called LinkedIn, which is very hot, you know. But okay, why email works? Does it still work?
So email is still the number one highest return on investment digital activity that any business across the world can carry out.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's
Email.
some trivia.
Okay.
And why is email so awesome? One is because like email is something that cannot go away. What I mean by that is, let me ask you a question, Sumit. If you were to find a copy of your passport or your electricity bill, or if you were traveling tomorrow, or you checked into a hotel today, what is the first thing that you had to check?
Your email.
You cannot not check your email, right? Whether it's your
Yeah.
wife's personal stuff or your stuff or your friend's stuff, there's not going to be a
Hmm.
day, like hopefully there's never a day that you're like, oh, I'm not going to check my email today. That doesn't happen, right? You check your email 10 times a day or 5 times a day or whatever it is in a day. And what is so amazing with email is that it's 100% in your control, which means that if I told you 6 months ago that, Sumit,
Hmm.
TikTok is like buzzing, man. Like your target market is on TikTok. You invest in making videos, you
Hmm.
invest in a team, and the Indian government
Hmm.
bans it. You're back to zero. Now, this is one example.
Hmm.
And today is an interesting day. Like if you look at Twitter, see what's happening in the
Hmm.
news today. Um, Good chance that nothing happens, but there is a good chance that Twitter is banned. Similarly with Facebook, similarly with Instagram, they're all owned by the same guys. Instagram, Facebook,
Yeah.
WhatsApp, they're owned by one company. Now, I'm not saying that you should not be on these platforms. You should 100% be on
Hmm.
these platforms, 100% milk these platforms while you can. Facebook groups are amazing. Instagram is buzzing. Clubhouse is amazing. But all these
Yeah.
things, they can and will fall down at some point. Now, fall down might be an extreme where it gets banned by a government.
So the question again, how do you get the content continuously in to get to that number of a critical mass of people who have engaged with your brand and started to trust your brand? How do you do that?
Yeah.
Because as an entrepreneur, आपको सब कुछ करना है ना. You have to get the product in, you have to ship the product, you have to imagine distribution, logistics, supply chain, everything. How does an entrepreneur counter that?
Yeah. So I think like a small business, most of the time it starts off like as a personal brand, or at least like one entrepreneur's effort to do something. And that entrepreneur is excited, they are passionate, they're genuinely passionate about their topic. So they start sharing it on their own personal brands, which I think is a very good start. That's the easiest place to start. Start sharing it on your
Okay.
personal brands on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, wherever you already have a little bit of a presence. The next part is probably the most critical part. And I can understand that the entrepreneur doesn't have time to do everything. That means write the post, create the graphic, post the post, put the hashtags, this time, respond to comments, all that stuff. I'm not even asking you to do. What I am asking the business owner to do is to very simply write down what is your message? What is it that you want other people to say about your brand? Right?
Yeah.
Which is not going to take time. So
Yeah.
once you write that down, I think that's a good starting point. And then all you need is a social media calendar, which means that like what are the ideas? Okay, on Friday I'm going to do a podcast. Who am I going to do a podcast with? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just write down Friday podcast. Monday, okay, I think I'm going to do a quiz. What quiz? It's okay. It doesn't matter. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You write down your days and you just write down the headline as the starting point.
Yeah.
Just write down the headline, which is not going to take any time. I'll be happy to share a social media calendar link as well with you guys. But it's a process. You go and it's like asking you a simple question like, what should I do? Okay, I should do this. If the entrepreneur is able to do that, if they're able to just visualize, hey, what is my message? What is it that I want to say? Two is like, what's my brief, broad social media calendar? That way, you're going to have hundreds of interns, you're going to have hundreds of gig economy people saying that, yeah, this I can do. Boss, you want me to create a graphic? I can create a killer graphic for you. You want me to create a quiz? I can program a quiz for you. So you need to differentiate between strategy and execution. Execution, anyone can do. Anyone can do the execution. But if the strategy is not there, if the clarity is not there, then even the best graphic designer is not going to be able to do social media for you.
Yeah. Wish you all the best for digitalmarket.com and lots of success in future. Hope you will join us again in near future with some new news and some new ideas.